All right, what the heck is going on with the Lakewood Ranch real estate market? Hey, it's Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Reddy Group, and this is the Lakewood Ranch market in a minute. Full disclosure, we go well over a minute here, as you can probably tell. Yet we break down the month over month, year over year, and even some longer term perspective trends in certain stats, health metrics, if you will, of the Lakeland Ranch real estate market. That's easy for me to say. All right, so we do this, and typically I'll make these videos with just centered on me with some stats popping up. Yet I figured for my visual learners, let's do a little experiment. Let's actually have the graph or the spreadsheet that I use, albeit not the prettiest. It is effective. We'll just work through this together as we see which direction the market is heading. Is it heading towards buyer's market territory, seller's market territory, some of each? That's what we're here to break down, so that either you really love real estate market stats and you're watching this, or maybe you plan on entering the market either as a buyer, as a seller, or you're doing both at the same time, and you want to know when the right time might be for you. And that's what we're looking to accomplish here. I'm a educator first, consultant second. Only after that, that's when sales happen. So if you feel like we might be a fit to work together based on the data that I track and present here, let's talk. If not, just enjoy the video. Okay, so first thing you're going to notice, this is month over month. You'll notice the color coding. The way I have this set up is if these trends or if these metrics are favoring sellers or moving towards sellers' favor, I don't want to call it seller's market, moving in the seller's favor, they're going to be green. If they're moving in the buyer's favor, they're going to be red, month over month, and then we'll look at it again year over year. So let's talk about the two lone wolves here in the green. First, closed sales jumped up a whopping 46% month over month. 210 homes closed in Lakewood Ranch. By the way, this is all property types. If I use the word homes, I do mean single family, townhome, condo, villa. But 46% more of all of those closed in March compared to February. 23% more went under contract. That's the third straight month of increasing contracts. Kind of to be expected this year, but kind of also expect this year to be like no other year. We'll see. Flip it around. Metrics that are favoring buyers. I'm going to start with the biggest mover here with available homes jumping up 38%. Second straight increase, yet close to 1,000 homes on the market in Lakewood Ranch. 969 to be exact. Part of that is due to an 11% jump in new listings. 302 homes hit the market last month. Part of that's due to homes taking longer to sell. So homes are lasting for, on average, 95 days before they go under contract. So if that's the average, then you expect a 3-month listing to contract cycle to pop another month on the back of that for closing. And it's a 4 to 5, 6 month process. So that's why you see inventory just kind of stacking. Median days on market also up slightly, 2%, going from, 64 to 65. So up 1 day, yet up is up nonetheless. Average price, median price. Now, don't be alarmed. That doesn't necessarily mean that all values are down 9% or 5%. That just means the homes that closed, the 210, did so for 9% less on average and 5% less on average than the previous month in February. By the way, that's the third straight month of declining median price, first straight average price. Median sold price to list price ratio dropped 2%. That's a pretty healthy drop, although it went up 2%, went down 2%. So I guess that seems to be kind of a trend line. It's 2% either way. That just measures the relationship between final asking price before going to contract and closed price. I'd say final because, as you probably know, some homes do have to reduce their price in order to effectively snag a buyer. So that's the month over month. Let's take a look at this from a year over year perspective. And I do track a lot of markets, so bear with me here while I get to, there we go. All right. Same thing, lots of red, lots of buyer favoring metrics here. I'll start with the single yellow metric, Oddly enough, 302 homes listed in both March of this year and March of last year, so that number didn't move. Yet, let's just start from the top, work our way down. Median days on market, more than double this time last year. Average days on market, 64% higher than this time last year. I wasn't tracking available homes, and it's impossible to go back and know exactly what was on the market April 1st of last year. So forgive me on the non-comparison there. We can probably guess, though, that number's up. New purchase contracts fell by, 12 contracts, but that is a 5% drop nonetheless. Closed sales fell by 1 closed sale, but that's a 0.5% drop. This one's the biggie. Sure, we'll see some fluctuations in average and median selling price when we're looking at it month over month. Yet to see downward fluctuations that much year over year, gotta give the edge to buyers on that one. So the average selling price, because that's basically saying that there was a depreciation of properties across the board last year. Now, is that true? Again, not necessarily, because that's measuring what closed in March of 24 compared to what closed in March of 25, but those are numbers you can't really ignore. 7.1% drop in average price, 6.1% drop in median price, 3.3% drop in median sold price to list price ratio. So if you're a buyer out there in Lakewood Ranch, it's kind of a playground for you. Longer market times means that you have obviously more time to make a decision, less pressure on your heels, more leverage when you're making an offer. Available homes, I don't have the comparison yet. Again, got to suspect that number is pretty significantly up over last year. New purchase contracts and new closed sales means that you have less competition as a buyer. Go nuts. Use it as leverage. Average price, median price, obviously you want to see that as a buyer. And then sold price to list price ratio. That just means that more buyers are making more deals. Now, last thing we're going to look at, what this looks like from a perspective standpoint. Just kind of watch. All right, so I've been keeping these for now just over 13 months, it looks like. Average median days on market. The average is in blue, the median is in red. You see where those trend lines are going. New listings, available homes, and new contracts. New listings is in blue, pretty flatlined. New contracts in yellow, trending towards down overall, yet last few months kind of making a little comeback here with 227 last month compared to 239. This trend line continues. Hopefully we do see that number going up. Now, I just started keeping available homes in January, so forgive me, don't have the full perspective of that. We will over time, so stay tuned. Join me in like 2 years and you'll love how this graph looks. But yeah, you can see big increase in that red line from January through now. We'll see how that plays out. Closed sales. Up, then down, then up. In December, then down, then back up. All right, so how does this compare? Right on par with last year, one less closed sale. December. Let's talk about that for a second. December is always a pretty busy closing month because there's tax benefits to closing in December. People want to take advantage of that, so they accelerate their purchase, get it done before the 31st, and then that eats away from or kind of cannibalizes January a little bit. Obviously, that continued into February. Average and median price. Average in the blue, median in the red. So you don't see this isn't the smooth. These aren't the smoothest lines, right? They move up and down and up and down and up and down. Again, it's not indicative of overall values. It just means those are the homes that closed that month. Those are the averages. Those are the medians. However, the trend line from a peak of December is trending down. Can't be ignored. We'll see how that plays out. Lastly, median sold price to list price ratio. This one is the lowest measured in the last 13 months, 96.66. Peaked out at close to 100, both in March of last year and June of last year, also in December of last year. Other than that, you see a lot of 97s, 98s. This Previous month in March, 96.66. So let's wait and see how this continues. So where does that leave us? Buyer's market, seller's market, neither. Well, you see a lot of red. You see more red than green. Not that it's a terrible time to be a seller. It's not like there's a lot of homes that are coming off the market unsold, like they hit the market and they just did not sell. That's not the case in Lakewood Ranch, like I see in other markets. Yet you got to give the edge a little bit to the buyers right now. So if you're buying a home independently of selling a home, you're probably in your sweet spot right now. If you're selling a home independent of buying one here at least, then it really depends on the market conditions of where you might go buy a home. But if you're selling a home to buy another home here in Lakewood Ranch, throw the market conditions out the window. It doesn't matter. You're doing both at the same time. You're essentially just swapping your equity from one to the other. You can't, sell high and buy low at the same exact time in the same exact market. It just doesn't exist, save for like a just rare one-off kind of instance. So I hope that helps. And if it does, and if you feel that I would be helpful in your real estate goals in in Lakewood Ranch, then reach out, drop a comment, find me on social, Sean Reddy, Keller Williams Reddy Group. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you next month.